It's time for Photo Video Twins. Here we are
Twins!
on Looney Tunes. It's time for the twins.
Photo Video Twins!
In July 2016. I just texted my mother and told her she should sign up for our giveaway. You better go over there fast or she might win. Hi, this is JP Morgan.
And this is Lars Lindstrom.
And it's time. Ooh, you sounded really official there. Lars.
A little space in between the Lars and Lindstrom.
A little online PBS.
A little PBS. This is Lars Lindstrom. Actually, my name's not Ira, so I can't do NPR.
Oh, that's too bad, because that is a great sound. So.
Yeah, this is Ira Lindstrom.
It's like, how does he even talk like that?
I don't know. Yeah.
Like,
no, Ira.
Is he that way at home?
No, yeah, right.
Hey, dear,
yeah.
Could you get me a cup of tea? It's like, Ira, dude. Anyway, moving on here. Things that are happening in the month of July. There's some interesting things going on.
Yeah, no, I agree. Some interesting things. Not a lot of new things.
No, not a lot.
Necessarily, but there's some fun things. What do you got going on?
I think the biggest announcement by far in just the last couple of weeks was the Hasselblad X1D.
The X1D.
So it's basically a small format, medium format.
Well, because they went mirrorless.
Yeah, mirrorless camera. It's a medium format mirrorless camera.
So it's now the size of probably like a regular 35mm camera, but it's got a full medium format sensor in there.
That's insane.
Hasselblad sensor.
That's incredible.
That's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gonna get one?
I'd love one for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
I'd love one to do landscapes, to do, I mean, just, can you imagine what a portrait for someone would look like? Oh. The detail. Although that is the problem on the Hasselblad. When I used to shoot on the old Hasselblads, you know, the skin is just so much detail. It's almost scary. And so you don't put a small diffusion, a little bit of diffusion. Actually, the H1 or H2, H2 has a built-in skin diffuser.
I wonder if this has the same thing though, just the digital processing. I bet it does. I've heard, I think, in the past that the digital Hasselblads do some sort of skin processing. Yeah. There's like a feature you can turn on that will soften up the skin tones a little bit. Because
you guys so very poor. But anyway, it's a fabulous camera. Is it a great video camera? I mean,
they do 1080p video.
Which is too bad on that format. You'd be cropping that format into a very horizontal, which is not as large as it sounds.
Yeah.
You know, when you crop it into that format. But if it shot 4K,
because it definitely has,
I would be on board all the way.
6,000 lines across, 6,000 pixels across, so it could do 4K. Absolutely could.
We're just becoming spoiled. I want one camera that does it all.
Right.
I want an Alexa in a mirrorless camera body.
This form factor, right?
That has a 50 megapixel still image.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, not gonna happen. Oh, maybe it will.
I don't know. But I'd even be interested to see what the 1080p video looks like on a medium format lens and a medium format camera.
It's got to be stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot of detail there, and especially they have a whole series of lenses that go with it that are made to be sharp enough to handle that sensor, which you've got to have. I mean, if you throw a lens on there that is not prepared for that kind of medium format, and it's got to be a good Hasselblad lens.
So this is not just like a $10,000 camera body then. This is
$4,000
per lens, and maybe you need a 80mm and a 120. Does that sound good, or do you need anything wider than that?
Oh, you do on that 80 and 120.
It's like a 40, 80, 120.
Yeah. If you have that set, that's a pretty good set.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. It's another 12 grand.
These lenses here, that's a 120 Hasselblad. It's an old Hasselblad.
But you can get these for pretty cheap these days.
You can.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you could get that and declick it for doing.
Oh, some video maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gosh.
But that's a whole different. This is a digital camera. That's got the shutter. It's a leaf shutter lens. There's no way it'd work on this.
No.
But anyway, it'd be fun to think about. But anyway, I think that's a fabulous camera. We sent in a request saying, please allow us to come and test it out, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, great. We should send another request to have them send us.
Please send two. Hasselblad, if you send two, you'll become the official camera of Photo Video Trends.
That's right. We'll only use your cameras on Photo Video Trends.
Only.
Yeah. That's a promise. And for most of the other things we do.
Most. Okay, so moving on.
Okay, yeah.
You talk about the one that you. I got emails from you, texts from you, and from Kenneth,
Nice.
Everybody's going, JP.
Nice, individually. So Canon has dropped the price of their cinema cameras. So the C100 Mark II and the C300 Mark II. So the C100 Mark II came down from $5,500 to $4,000. So it's a $1,500 price drop, which is cool. But the problem is it doesn't do 4K. And I know we've talked a lot about, 4K, not 4K. It's all about future-proofing at this point.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
And so the harsh reality is the majority of what we do, and I'm talking 95, 97% of what we do, there is no need for 4K. However, I will say that there's like this future idea that as TV and streaming technologies and maybe H.265 codecs for Blu-ray come out, that you're just gonna want it and you're gonna need it. So, I mean, I just bought a 55-inch TV, another one.
Did you drop it?
No, I didn't drop this one. And it does 4K, and it's, and I even like paid for a little bit extra on Netflix to watch 4K stuff. And the only thing I noticed was some stuttering.
Really? Really?
My internet was having it was fine. It was streaming fast. I mean, instantly streaming. But then every 30 seconds, some frames would stutter and then it would fix itself. And it just was enough to make me go, I'm going back to the Apple TV because 1080 looks great to me and I don't need this. However, C300 Mark II. So here's a camera that does 4K. It's got that small form factor so you can run and gun it. The batteries last forever. The media is really efficient. Does slow motion up to 120 frames a second in 1080p.
120? Oh, that's fabulous.
So, and they just dropped the price $4,000 to it. I think they should have introduced the cameras at $12,000 to begin with, and then dropped it another $2,000 or $3,000.
16 is just crazy.
It is crazy. So, but they did. They've dropped the price now. So the C300 Mark II is $12,000. Is it cheap? No, not really.
Not cheap.
Is it more enticing? Absolutely. Even I'm going, okay, I've got 3 documentaries coming up by the end of the year. This would be a great camera. And just go, and there's one we want to do in Missouri, an old Indian tribe that's dying off. We want to do a documentary about them. I want to be able to do slow motion. I want to be able to run and gun it. Take this camera with me.
Do you want 2 of them, or we just shoot a 1-camera setup?
1-camera setup. What
Really?
I probably going to end up doing is getting an A7R2 that does internal 4K. Alongside a C300 Mark II.
And you feel like you can cut those 2 together?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about I'll buy a C300
Okay.
and you buy one, and then we can borrow each other's.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'd be totally on board with that.
And then we'd have 2 cameras.
All right, we'd have to do it soon.
I'm kind of on board with that idea.
I like that
know.
idea.
So what's the sensor size, though?
It's a Super 35.
So you're not getting a shallow depth of field.
It's great. It's great. And look, you've got a 24-1.4. Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. That is all the depth of field you could ever want in a wide lens. So if you want that weird kind of 32 millimeter full frame size look that's wide open on a 1.4, you're going to get a cool look. I guarantee it.
All right.
And with video, trust me, man, it's great. It's great. Super 35. That's what the design is for.
There you go. Well, it's a fabulous camera, fabulous. But can I just say this as a step back here?
Sure.
That is that in the 90s, I started to shoot ads, still ads, trying to convince people, hey, televisions are not going to be square much longer. Maybe it was earlier than 90s. No, it had to be the 90s.
Yeah.
And so we were seeing these ads saying, here's your picture all formed for a square TV, and here's what's going to happen to it when televisions go horizontal. And the clients were going, nah, TVs aren't going to go horizontal. It's a fad.
What?
Can you believe that?
Yeah,
I did. I shot ads
funny.
for this, trying to convince people in the people who are shooting content, stop shooting in a square format, start shooting in a cinema format, because that's what you're going to get. And people were resisting that idea. And now, who even knows what a square TV looks like?
No,
Nobody.
Not me, man. We'll do this thing, though, in 10 years when people want to be super retro, where they'll start making little 4x3 TVs again. Oh, those are
television
awful.
doesn't look the best unless it's in a square format.
Oh, you want to really get that real authentic, vintage.
It's like
vibe.
Sam talking about his music. If it isn't off from vinyl, it doesn't sound the same. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't sound bad. Scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. It's like...
I don't know, man. I don't know. So,
all right, well, we better move on here.
Before I get into my Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. Chat.
I buried Paul.
No, that's the Beatles, man.
I know. Hey, I'm not that out of it.
Hey, come on.
Okay, Nat Geo had this big issue about photo editing.
Okay.
This is an interesting topic because if you're doing what is considered to be, this is news, this is reality, then photo retouching is a bad thing. And of course, National Geographic has always said we don't retouch our images except for to retouch them so that they look like what we saw there. Like if I'm shooting in a tungsten light and I shoot the color balance is wrong, then you can fix that because what was there was, you know.
Well, you do simple. I mean, there's color correction, right?
Color correction, all that kind of stuff is fine.
Contrast and color, and do they do windows and stuff? Is that okay?
When you say windows, what do you mean?
Power windows. So let's bring the sky down a little bit. Let's bring this up a little.
You know, that becomes the gray area. At what point do you know, if you say, well, that's the way my eye could see it, which is true.
Right.
And that's so, yeah, there's probably a good argument for that.
Right. But your eyes have better dynamic range than some of these cameras, so you can kind of enhance that a little bit.
But Steve McCurry, who's probably has the most famous National Geographic image ever taken, that's the woman from Arab country, can't remember the country, Iran, I believe.
Yeah.
That stunning image with the blue eyes.
Yeah.
Well, he had manipulated that.
Okay.
And he had really made that look better than it really did.
Okay. So the eyes were a lot bluer.
I don't know about the eyes. But the reality is it just all came out. I mean, they also had an image that they did where they wanted to get two pyramids into a vertical, and so they just moved one of them over.
See, that's where I have a problem. Like the eye color correction, I can get behind that. Honestly, like that doesn't bother me. Like, it's cool, it's striking. That's what photography is supposed to be. Photography is supposed to enhance, I think, even in an ENG setting, enhance what we see normally, right? So,
they don't agree with that.
If you put a 12mm lens on a full-frame sensor, that's not something that the eye can see. That is specific to photography. That is a look. And so I think if you push colors a certain way in photography, that's a look. That is the artist's interpretation of
everything's an artist's interpretation. When the camera pans across some person in a 1920s film and there's a sun flare, well, no. If they pan across a person who's in a Stone Age and there's a sun flare, well, there weren't cameras in the Stone Age, so you couldn't get
what's flaring the lens there?
Yeah,
and all these these period pieces, flares everywhere. But they didn't have glass. They weren't looking through glass eyeballs.
So the reality is, it is an interpretation. But,
sure.
I come from a commercial background where you do whatever you want in the image.
Sure.
There is no standard because it's not meant to represent the news or represent reality or,
Yeah, but I see, like moving pyramids to line up, that's a problem. Because then that doesn't exist in real life. That just does not exist.
You got 14,000 tourists out there with their camera going, I can't get the pyramids in one shot. Yeah.
So no, I can get on board with that. But that's interesting. So he's getting some heat right now?
Oh yeah, no, it's a big deal. And just exactly, it's like, everyone's, I don't know. I think at some point we'll get to where we just kind of,
whatever.
Well, it's a hard line because what is reality when it comes to journalism? What is it that represents the story, and where is it now that you're creating imagery, you're creating your own story with the imagery, and that's really the issue.
That is an issue.
So, but anyway, National Geographic, interesting story to look up and follow. Well, let's go on.
Sure.
So there's a company called Light.
Yeah.
And they raised
crowdfunded.
Crowdfunded.
Yeah.
Okay. So they raised $30 million to bring their 52 megapixel. It's called the 16 aperture. So 16A.
L16.
L16.
Yeah.
So bring the L16 to the market. So this is a camera that has 16 separate camera modules.
Right. So 16 different lenses. It's a very small form factor, probably about the size of an iPhone.
Not much bigger than an iPhone.
Right.
But it's like the Litro camera. You can choose your focus later. You can choose you got all this information that's stitching together from these 16 different modules.
So essentially the camera takes 16 different pictures on these different lenses, stitches them together in a post-processor internally, and then you get a powerful, manipulative 52 megapixel image.
It gives you a ton of options. It's just fascinating to me. Obviously, the market likes this.
$30 million.
And they're $1,700 each.
So they're not cheap.
So it's not a cheap thing, but you raised $30 million. It said their sales figures they wanted in the first month, they hit in their first 2 days.
2 days, right.
Yeah. So it's like it's on fire. It's not going to come out till 2017. It's a while before it's going to come out. You wonder about these things. Not that I want to say anything bad about you wonder about these things when it comes to, are they really ready, or they just raised all this money now to figure out how they can make it work? We got this idea and it's kind of cool, but I wonder if we can make it work.
It's definitely it's beyond concept. Like, they have a working prototype, so now they have to just figure out how to manufacture this camera on a mass scale so they can deliver these $30 million worth of cameras. But yeah, they have images, and the images are very pretty. They're beautiful, but you know, it's for me, it's anytime a new camera or lens comes out, they give it to the best professionals in the world, and they go out and shoot incredible things in incredible places, and everything looks pro. Everything looks good, no matter what. I mean, it could be the new, like, $500 point and shoot from Nikon, and people are going to make it look really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you get the right people with the right crew or settings
and
or
the
whatever.
right setup, yeah.
So I would love to just play with it for a little bit. I really want to see what they're packing into this little camera body that is so unique and different, that's worth $1,700 that I can get that I can't get with my iPhone or like a mirrorless A7S or A7R2.
Yeah, I'm missing the point. How do you get $30 million worth of people to send you this as a crowdfund? I'm not sure what they're seeing there that's got everyone going, wow, you know?
I don't know. I mean, the images are stunning. They're really pretty.
Yeah.
But so is the A7R2 images.
Yeah.
You know? And for a little bit more, you can get like a full frame, reputable brand, and it's got a lot, you know, does 4K video, and you know, so there's like a lot of other things that I just don't know. I'm just missing the picture as well.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. It'll be interesting to see the camera, test one, and to shoot with one. You know, it'll be something very interesting to see. So,
speaking of crowdfunded things, so the Bolex.
Oh yeah, the old
couple years ago, the 16 millimeter Bolex camera company announced they're going to do a crowdfunded 16 millimeter digital Bolex camera. Were funded successfully. They made a bunch of them and gave them to everybody, and everybody didn't really use them or like them that much. And now they've announced that they're hanging up the towel. So, no more digital Bolex.
You know, these kinds of things, it's like one time I was in a guy's vintage car, and I'm rolling up the window, and I said, boy, they don't make these things like this anymore. And he goes, yeah, thank goodness.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. All right, so going on here, anything you've heard about the Canon Mark IV? Anything new?
No, nothing new.
What I have on here is that the upcoming Canon Mark IV will feature both a CFast 2.0 slot
and SD.
And SD.
Which is awesome, because SD technology has stayed up to date, right? So you have the compact flash card, which died with CFast 2. I mean, it just died. Like any future progression of technology in that format just disappeared.
What is wrong with me? I love compact flash.
They're great. No, they're super reliable, and I actually kind of like something a little bit bigger.
I do too. I can actually hold on to this thing. These others are so flimsy.
I lose them.
Yeah.
They drop and they slide and they fall in the cracks, and you just go, whatever.
It's more like a.
I know, but I do enjoy that you have now SD cards that can keep up with these like insane 4K write speeds.
Yeah.
So you got those, and they're cheap. They're so cheap. And then CFast 2. So you have the option, which is really nice because they're more expensive, CFast 2. Okay, so I have heard that.
Well, and the word on the street is that they'll probably release this at Photokina, which is September. So we'll see something about the Mark IV.
Cool, man.
They got to make some kind of a jump. I mean, their lenses
they are.
Lenses are solid. They, Canon lenses are still very solid. But if they don't get the camera going,
the more recent rumors I've heard are 4K and 120 frames a second and 1080.
Okay.
Those are the more recent rumors I've heard.
Those are two great things.
Look, they're not going to put a CFast card slot in this camera unless they plan on doing 4K content, Canon. Is that right? That's right.
To. Well, they have to. The market is making them. You're up against the A7R2 right now. Yeah. You've got to do internal
and it's future-proof. You're not going to spend $3,500 on a camera unless it's future-proof. You want to feel that warm blanket of future-proof at least 2 years.
I guess if it lasts 2 years,
with the camera
lucky.
body, exactly. If you're curvy. Think about the Mark III though. You've had the Mark III for 3 years.
I have, and it's been great cameras. Got three of them.
Think about
workhorses.
How much you've made from your jobs on the Mark IIIs, and how many times over they've paid themselves off.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it really is.
And for some of those features, you have better low light capabilities and a larger megapixel sensor and better focusing. So it made your job faster. easier, and you didn't have to have as much light on set, so that's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you.
Okay.
This is way off topic.
Ooh.
But not way off topic, but kind of ties into what we're talking about. If you're shooting internal 4K on the A7R2 versus, say, the new Atmos recorder, the Flame, is it the Flame?
There's the Flame, there's the Shogun, there's
they got rid of the Ninja Assassin's gone.
Right, yeah, the Flame.
So, Flame. So, obviously you got Apple ProRes if you're recording to the Atmos recorder, which is fabulous. But how does that look compared to the internal 4K?
I don't know.
Interesting question. Be interesting to
what's
look at.
Is it XVAC? Is it XVAC?
Yes.
The 4K internal recording?
Yeah.
So the 422 is going to get you more color depth.
Yeah, more bit depth.
So, in post-production, you're going to be able to push it a little bit further, push the image a little harder, which is obviously very useful if you're doing a lot of post. If you're not doing a lot of post, if you're just throwing a quick LUT on it just to correct that color from the flat to like a Rec 709, then you're probably going to be pretty close to the same. You're not going to see major differences. So I like the idea of not having a giant monitor on a tiny little mirrorless camera body.
Yeah.
Actually,
because my eyes are bad, I love it.
Rather than holding the camera, you just hold the monitor and move the monitor around to pan, tilt the camera attached to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But like I mentioned, this documentary I'm shooting, if you want to get a C300 Mark II, I'll get one. We'll do it now.
Okay.
And then we'll just be able to, we'll just keep track of days.
I'll
take it for 5 days, you can have it for 5 days. I'll take it for 2 days, you can have it for 2 days. I love that idea.
I love that idea too.
Great.
So,
okay.
The last thing I have is this no-fly zone here.
Oh.
DJI Geos. How do you say that?
Geospatial.
Geospatial Environmental Online. GEO is the company's built-in system for helping drone operators abide by airspace rules and regulations. Okay, so basically the system allows them to upgrade, their app is going to upgrade in real time to FAA on no-fly zones and places you can and can't be. It really gives you a great option to see where you can.
So your DJI app.
I'm thinking that's what this is. It's got to be.
When you get to a location.
Built-in system for helping drone operators abide by the airspace rules and regulations.
Cool. So I like that. This is DJI now working hand in hand with the FAA, which, I mean, probably DJI is losing a lot of customers because of fear, right? They're going, you know what? I've just heard too much negative stuff right now on the news about drones and people's feelings about them, so I'm just going to back out. So they're going, okay, well, what if we educate the consumer, the customer?
Customer.
Yeah.
Well, I just had this on my business coaching call last night. The guy said, well, I'm doing real estate stuff, but I don't dare use my drone because I'm just afraid of, can I use it? Can I sell the pictures if I shoot stills? And he had all these questions. I'm going, I didn't really know the absolute answer to that. Just a little bubble. I didn't really know the absolute answer to that, but
the FAA makes it a little tricky, and it's one of those up in the air things.
Kind of like a drone.
See what I did there?
Nice.
So it's definitely up in the air, but I think there's weight restrictions. So if it's over 18 pounds or 20 pounds or something like that, then there's several things that you have to be a licensed pilot, and you have to have a business license. There's lots of things. But if it's a little quadcopter, you've got a GoPro on it, there is a line between commercial and non-commercial. So real estate might have a problem.
It's commercial.
It's commercial.
You're selling. I mean,
but go on the FAA's website and read, and maybe even DJI's website.
Yeah.
Website.
The website.
Read the rules. Oh man.
Read the rules.
Website. Read the rules. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
All right, we got it. We got through it.
Okay, there you go. So that's still. I mean, it's an issue that's got to get resolved on some level, so people can. I find it irritating that they're saying that you can't sell your footage from a drone. I'm just going,
what? Who's saying that?
If I fly in a helicopter and I take pictures out the door, does that mean I can't sell that?
Right. No, of course not.
No. Yeah. I don't get it. But
is that what they're saying? Because I haven't even heard
that's
that
what came up in this call last night. The guy's going, well, I've heard I can't sell my images because if they're shot from a drone, And one of the person on the call said, well, hey, you can take your footage and you can cut it into your video you're selling to your real estate agent, and you're not selling them the actual footage, you're selling them a video. And so this isn't the actual footage, it's a video.
What's the difference?
Somehow he felt like it got around the rule, and
no, man.
something I need to understand.
I haven't heard any rules that you can't sell your drone footage. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I've definitely heard that.
If it is an invasion of privacy,
obviously, if you're looking,
like if you're over Leonardo DiCaprio's vineyard,
but that's an issue for anybody. You know,
right.
If you climb over the fence and take a picture on his property, you got the same problem.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know. Well, there's information, needs more information. But anyway, this thing that's called the GEO. So it gives you an opportunity to show you where you can and can't fly your drone.
I like it. So it's great.
There you go. Anything else we have?
No, man. I feel good about this.
I do too.
Price drops and rumors and new Hassleblad. It's great stuff.
Anytime there's a new Hasselblad, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you gonna get one?
C300, Hasselblad.
C300. Get a C300. Don't get the Hasselblad. Don't get the Hasselblad. Get the C300. Yeah.
Well, in reality, I have an A7R II, which takes fabulous large pictures. I mean, it's a great camera.
Yeah, and do you use your internal 4K on that one?
I have not yet.
Oh, okay.
I have the Ninja.
The Flame, the Ninja.
Yeah, I have the Ninja, so I use that on there, which is I love the monitor,
you
the
like
focusing
that,
and everything. Yeah. You know, as I get older, the monitor's going to get bigger. Pretty soon, I'll have a big screen TV on the back of the camera.
Yeah. What are you going to do when you do handheld? Do you just hold the monitor?
I don't do handheld with it. When I go off from it, I put that little small HD monitor on it.
All right.
I do it. It's handheld, but actually the greatest rig, a tilter rig. It's that tilter rig that you put that A7R II in. It's got a handle on the side now that you can turn the record on and off.
Yeah, and then you can get a Noga arm if you want to.
You can put that on there. Now you got a rig you can handhold it. You can't get a shoulder.
Killing it.
They're doing it.
They're
really
killing the market,
Canon was our sponsor for years, and actually about to start with us again. We're going to review their color meter, their new color meter.
Right.
And so that'll be a great thing. We're going
What's the price point on the color meter? That color meter?
$1,300, I believe.
So it's like $400 cheaper than the next guy up.
Yeah.
So, great.
So and it's a great meter. So.
That's such a useful tool, and I think more and more it's going to become like the standard on set again, because LEDs now are just they're getting better, but there are variations with every LED. You're just going to get it, and as LEDs get older, eventually the color starts to shift a little bit. So, yeah, color meters coming back.
Color meters are great. So there you go, tilter rigs and color meters. Great thing things from ICANN to look at. So there's photo video trends for the month of July. So join us on our Facebook group. We have a great group. There's a lot of stuff going on there. So join us and join our Facebook group and like us on our Facebook. And follow us here on YouTube.
Or on our podcast. Listen to the podcast.
Yeah, we have a podcast
and write a review.
Yeah, on our podcast.
If you listen to on the podcast, I just want to know that you're out there, man. Because that's where I like listening to things.
Just write on the review, Lars, I just wrote a review. And let's see if Lars answers you.
I won't, but let's see.
Oh, great.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't think you can respond to reviews on,
I don't know.
On podcasts.
Tell how much I've been on there.
Right. No, yeah, just write a review. Let us know if you hate it or love it.
It's not comments, it's a review.
Yeah.
Anyway, so leave a review.
2 stars. Who are you? I will respond to this.
Trisha Zemp made a stop motion out of the Slanted Lens logo. She's going to teach you how to do this and much, much more if you go to theslanteddlens.com/stop motion. Buy the download, it'll teach you everything you need to know about stop motion. So it's time for questions from Photo Video Trends.
And comments. Don't forget those comments. Some of them are just nice.
They are. Some of them are not so nice.
And we don't read those.
No. Maybe we should. We should do one of those things like on
roast, or the Jimmy Fallon thing. Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel. The nasty comments.
Mean tweets.
Mean tweets. So here you have it.
Mean comments.
Mean comments.
JP and Lars. Cool. All right. Making a green screen. Hey, I did this one.
You did, so you should answer this question.
So long ago. Omar RT said, "Hi, I take pictures for kids, baseball and volleyball teams out on the field, but the editing takes me a long time to do. Can I use this technique to take pics outside?" Setting up a green screen?
I think that's what he's talking about, which is what you did in the video. It was set up outside.
Yeah, and he says, Lars looks so young in this episode.
That's somebody else.
Oh, somebody else said that. Oh, man. Oh, fantastic.
What does that mean? You look so young in that episode.
I think it means I'm getting older, man. I'm like an old married man. I think I did that thing when I was single.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Man, time flies.
So in his answering his question, he's doing baseball shots outside. You could throw that green screen up
anywhere.
in the light that's out there.
Totally.
And you can, you know, that day of, well, you got to get the half a stop. No.
Here's the thing. So there's two ways of doing it. So if you are in the shade, great. Ambient light's going to light the green screen, no problem. Just make sure you get in, and I would say in the shade or direct sunlight, just make sure you get a little separation between your talent and the background, right? So I think that 8 to 10 feet is a pretty good distance. You're not going to get that spill, right? So if they're too close to the green screen, it's going to start bouncing back light, and you'll start to get this green spill around their faces. So that's no good. But if you put a long lens on, a 70 to 200 millimeter lens, and you get them maybe 8 to 10 feet away from it, you're like 8 feet, 10 feet away from them, zoom in, you're going to get that no problem. Even direct sunlight. If the sun's kind of low in the sky and it lights up their face nice and you're happy with it, if you want to soften it up with a little diffusion, but it's direct sun on that green screen, you'll be fine. Yeah.
It's not the days of having to get it a half a stop, you know, and just freaking out about it. You know what? If you got green back there, it's going to key out pretty easily.
Totally.
Just don't put huge shadows on it so you have big blocks and...
Yeah, the light's got to be consistent, right? Yeah. So it's got to be pretty much the same spectrum all the way across. So, yeah. But yeah, it should be easy.
Okay. Great. So going on, gaff tape. Anthony Jason, you can make a daisy. It's similar to your number 9 when you have a large rectangular filter that you can wrap tape around your lens, leaving slack, and then you cut the slit. Basically, you wrap a piece of tape around it, just the tape's going forward. You just cut, and roll it back.
Yep. So all the way, so
That's
you do
a great tip.
A piece of tape all the way around the lens, and then you just cut slits all the way around, and you just put the filter on, so it kind of like creates a little flower. It's nice.
And Anthony really says if you use yellow tape, it's even cooler because it looks like a daisy.
Oh, a little daisy flower.
A little daisy flower. That is a great way to stick a filter on, and it's actually very easy. It's great.
Yeah. And it holds so well because you can even, as it wraps around on the top and bottom part, you're going to be able to fold it over again on top and bottom of the filter. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere.
Excellent.
Cool.
Okay.
T.S. Aba said, nice video. I really like the song. Who's the singer? Can I download or buy the song somewhere?
Whoa. You know what? This is Sam Blasucci, and Sam is an incredible guitarist. He plays his guitar upside down.
What do you mean?
He's left-handed, so he picked up a right-handed guitar.
Right. Flip it
and
around.
He put it, and so, no, he did not restring it. It's upside down.
You just learned the chords upside down.
Yes, but it's just fabulous. I went to the Echo over in Echo Park to hear him play the other night, and he has a partner that plays guitars with him, and they were fabulous. Wow. They really were. So
cool, man.
I can't remember the name.
That's okay.
Anyway, so yes. We should sell it as a download for 99 cents.
You should.
The gaff tape song by he did the whole version. I'll talk to Sam. We'll split those proceeds with Sam and make some money on the side.
Yeah, $27. I'll buy it. I'll be one of your customers.
There you go. Okay.
All right. Tamron, 85 and 90 millimeter review. Shylin, 95. Shylin? Sure.
Yeah.
Said, your comment about the 85 being the perfect lens because it doesn't compress or other distortions makes no sense. It will depend on how close you get to the subject, but an 85 millimeter will show clear distortion versus something like 135 or 200 or longer. And I disagree. But surely it will be better than a 50 millimeter for tight headshots. If shot from the same distance, that's for sure. No, because you have a close minimum distance of about 3 feet on 85 millimeter lenses.
It is about 3 feet.
So over 3 feet or under than 3 feet, it's first of all you're gonna get
you're gonna just crop in on the face.
And second of all, that's not how lenses work. That's just not how they work. An 85 is going to be very flattering to the face, no matter how close you are. If you're at minimum focus at 3.3 feet,
it doesn't distort. You're not
right.
It's the reason you have an 85 is it doesn't distort. Obviously, 100 is going to distort. Well,
no,
100 is just compressing it. It's going to be in tighter. So,
yeah, you're not going to see any barrel distortion on 85 millimeter lens.
No. Not the lens. So test that. If you can show us an image that represents that, I'd love to see it because I don't think it exists.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, moving on. Softboxes 101. Still Piezel videos. Slapsy. Love it. Okay, there you go. High-sided lens. That was a great tutorial on softboxes. I wish there was more info on the wattage and Kelvin used in those boxes as that must play an important role. Any chance you could enlighten me? Sorry about the pun. Enlighten me. On whether they use energy-saving bulbs where 20 watts is the same light output as a 100-watt bulb. Was the Kelvin around 5500? Any info would be much appreciated. When on that softbox video, all of the tutorial stuff that we did there that was video was shot with straight tungsten, 3200 degrees, and the tungsten bulbs were rated at 3200. And we weren't putting like a 100-watt bulb or a 50-watt bulb. These are like 1,000-watt bulbs. So
were they 300? Is this the?
We're using the starlights, and we would
okay,
just use it as a teaching method. When you go to strobes, it's obviously a whole different deal. But so I'm not sure.
They're either 500 or 1,000 watts.
500 or 1,000 are the bulbs we were using in there, and they're 3,200 degrees. So
yeah.
When it says was the Kelvin around 5,500, no, those are not daylight.
Can you believe? Do you? When was the last time you pulled out those tungsten packages?
The Aries? I have like a 2K and a 1K.
No. The tungsten softboxes.
Oh, never.
Right.
Which is great because they're silver lined, they're heavy, and now you just use your regular boxes, and it's fabulous.
You just have LEDs everywhere, and they're so light, they're so power efficient. I mean, the same output, you're using 200 watts.
Yeah.
Pretty much like a tenth of the power output for the same amount of light, and it's a better quality light because it's daylight. It's crazy. FJ14 said, what are the differences between using a softbox and an umbrella stand for lighting? Softbox is more controllable.
Is he talking about the stand?
No, he's talking about the actual...
Okay, softbox versus an umbrella.
An umbrella, right. So umbrella is just going to spread light everywhere, including behind you, right? So it's not enclosed. It just hits a light here, and some of that light bounces, some of it pushes through, and it's diffused. Whereas a softbox, you've got now a controlled environment that the light's going to bounce and reflect off each other until eventually it pushes out the front where you want it to go. And then you can even put grids on top of that, so you can really start to direct your light. An umbrella is just like, hey, we just need a lot of light right here now. And you throw it in there, and you're good to go. But softboxes are much more controllable and flattering, I think.
Well, the reason I said that in that home studio setup is because when you're in a tight room and you got a ceiling and walls right there, you put an umbrella in there and you don't just add a key light, but you're adding a fill light and you got backlight everywhere.
You're just going to look like a little ghost, just a little Simpsons character ghost, pretty much.
So the idea is to control the light, and the softbox gives you more control. Now, an umbrella can look beautiful.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. A shoot-through umbrella is a very beautiful light.
They have those 8-foot,
big,
7-foot.
Those are fabulous.
Giant umbrellas.
Yep, Photoflex has a great 72-inch umbrella. It's really pretty, the white shoot-throughs.
And for certain environments,
we call that the Tor.
The Tor?
The Tor.
Why?
You don't remember. We were out shooting, and Tor broke mine.
He broke yours. Oh, man.
We'll call out the Tor over at Blackmagic.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
So Ryan Taft says, I'm moving into a new place, and the walls are dark blue. Any tips for making a setup? If I can not paint the rooms white, I would put curtains up, black curtains up on the sides, or because that's going to just kill all the light in the room. You don't want to put white up because that's going to bounce all the light around, but you're going to get blue in there if you don't do something.
Wait, okay, I see what you're saying.
So dark just blue. Get two rod or a PVC, so get a conduit, and you can drill holes in that, or you can clamp it just to stands and put those up, and that'll kill the blue on the wall if you can't paint it. And if you can't paint it, you probably can't drill holes in the wall.
You're worried about light reflecting off the blue and then spilling the blue a little bit.
You get a blue fill every time you put a light up.
Yeah.
Depends on how big the room is and how far it is.
I read this as more of like a lighting, like how to get an exposure. But if that's the case, then just remember that you're always exposing for skin tone and not the wall, not the blue wall. Yeah. Right, so don't expose your camera lighter so you can see more of a blue wall.
Yeah.
You're just gonna figure out what your skin tone's reading. You can even use an iPhone app just to kind of read, your light meter with an iPhone app, and definitely expose for that. And if the wall gets a little darker behind you, then that's fine too. Great.
Okay.
From Twitter. You have a little tweeting account?
Our Twitter's, it's doing really well.
Great, man.
Our Instagram's actually growing, which is good.
For you. That's fantastic. Feroz Khan said, what's the science behind aperture controlling flash output?
This is a misconception, and maybe I say it incorrectly on the videos, and it leads people to the wrong conclusion. Aperture does not control the flash output, but you need the aperture to match the flash output. So if you're on full power, and you do a meter reading and it's f8, then you put the aperture on f8. So it doesn't control the output, but it matches it. Shutter now can control the ambient. The longer the shutter speed, the more ambient. So if you're at f8 with your strobe, your flash is f8, now you can make your shutter longer and longer and longer to where you get as much ambient, or you make it shorter and shorter and shorter to where you get as little ambient as you want.
So what is ISO? ISO controls both?
Both. Moves them both up and down.
So if you're reading an f8 at a 200 ISO, you could go to 100 and read an f4. Or 5.6.
5.6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Or you could put ND on the lens.
Yep, but that controls both. ND is going to control both as well.
You're right. Okay.
So the reason I always talk about aperture, that the aperture is controlling the flash, that's the wrong way to say it, I guess. Aperture matches the flash, and now the shutter will control the ambient and bring that ambient into some kind of whatever creatively you want it to look like in comparison to the f8 that you chose that matches your flash.
Perfect. Very nice. I get it. I get it now. And I don't do mini stills. No. All right. Go for it.
Okay, Jeff O'Brien says, what type of bag or case do you use to transport your C-stands? That's from the C-stand video. No bags or cases that I know of that make that very convenient. I've got a big rack of them. It's like a dolly, basically, for C-stands, a cart. Puts them all on there. But if I take them in a car, a few of them, I just throw them in the car.
Throw them in the car. Man, those things, they're built to just, like, be handled like...
I got 25-year-old C-stands from Norm's that...
And you've put them in water, you've put them in the ocean, you've done all sorts of crazy things.
I've never been concerned
They've
about
been in
them.
fire, I'm sure. I'm sure they've seen the gamut, but they're still kicking. So cool. All right. Luke Kolarski said, "Hey, I was wondering if you could take a look at these two stabilizers and tell me which one you think is better. It's the newer carbon fiber handheld stabilizer, or
the Flycam."
Or the Flycam Junior.
So these are stabilizers that are under $100 that look just like a glide cam. They look like the glide cam 2000.
I've seen the Flycam before. I haven't seen the newer one.
Yeah, newer makes a lot of really inexpensive. This is a carbon fiber for under $100. It's like $85.
I've had really great experiences with newer. And by that I mean like their light stands, which I still use, are falling apart. But like, I mean, just the knobs. All the knobs are like breaking off, and like, but with the price, like I've had them for 3 years. So I've got my money's worth. These light stands are like $6, you know.
Are they really that cheap?
Probably a little bit more than that, but like they're so cheap that you just go, let's just play, let's just try it. And I've used them for so many things, like even on pro sets and stuff. You know, I put like, oh, we need another light stand. You know, I'll use it.
I'm so the opposite. I've got stands I bought 25 years ago, and I paid $60 for them, and they still work. No knob problems. They're just fabulous. Those ones by Kupo, that new stand by Kupo, that's like $70. That thing will last you forever. Yeah. So, but these are I have no experience with these things as far as how they compare to a glide cam.
Read reviews.
I have no idea.
I'm sure that's what makes Amazon so great. Read the reviews there, and actually, if you click the link, we have an affiliate link in our description. We'll probably put up a link to both of those stabilizers here, so that you guys can click those links and sends us a little kickback. You guys get the same great deal on Amazon, and we'd appreciate it. Keeps the show on the air. Keeps us happy. So hopefully it makes you feel a little joy in your lives as well.
Excellent.
All right, Ursa versus Mini. Scott McMullen said, what was the resolution of each camera? So the Ursa Mini was 4.6K.
Oh, this is the Ursa versus the Alexa.
Yeah. So
you said Ursa versus Mini.
Did I say Mini?
I don't know. I thought you did.
Ursa versus Ari. I did.
There you go. Oh, you did.
So the Ursa Mini versus the Ari Alexa. So the Ursa Mini, I believe, was 4.6K, and the Alexa was 2K. So there's a difference there.
There's a bit of a difference.
But did you notice a difference there? Not really. So anyway, moving on.
Shooting a documentary. Studio 2 Girl said, great tips. If you're cutting between multiple people, do you recommend always having the subject positioned on the same side of the frame, or should you rotate?
Should you switch it up?
Switch it up.
Yeah. I say switch it up.
Kind of hard to see exactly what she's thinking about.
No. So if you're like, to Kate's example, so if the president's saying, well, blah, 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 and then you cut to the secretary. So I like, let's say the president's looking this way, right? You're over here, he's looking camera left? And then if you cut to the secretary, now she's on the other side of the frame looking camera right. To me, it helps because you've got now the people jumping around the frame. It keeps the viewer interested. There's something going on. There's something moving. But if it's just like person. So you interview a person. Let's say you interview the president. He's only looking camera left the entire time during the interview. But when editing, you go, okay, now we're talking to the president. I tend to, so like when I shoot a documentary, I keep track. I say, okay, we're shooting 6 interviews today, right? I'm gonna do 3 camera left, 3 camera right. And I try to keep it split. So sometimes it's not gonna match up, right? You're gonna need to go from the president to Secretary of Defense, right? And they're both looking camera left.
But if they're not in a conversation, that works out fine.
If they're not in a conversation, yeah.
You're jumping to a whole different world.
Yeah, if they're in a conversation, right. If you're over the shoulder, then you have to pay attention to your 180-degree line, but I don't think that's what they're saying. Lassie Workflow. Christian Castaneda said, I'm just wondering what Mac you're using. You probably have iMacs.
Several of them. I think it's the iMacs is everything that we saw in that lesson, I'm pretty sure. No. Sorry. This one we're on location. It's a
MacBook Pro?
MacBook Pro, yeah. Retina display.
Yeah.
So last month we said Lassie, as in the dog Lassie, which we were misinformed about, and
you say we as in if I was involved with the conversation. I completely thought it was Lassie.
I was completely.
Lassie.
So it's Lassie, like
Lassie.
Lassie. Lassie.
And let it be known.
Someone said on my on the comments, these things cost $1 billion. I'm going. You know what? I've had other drives that have failed on me several times. I have never had one of these things that have ever had a problem.
And you have to go, okay, what's one job? So let's say you're doing you're editing one commercial project.
Even if your job was $400.
Right. Whether it's yours or somebody else's, the likelihood that a commercial project was $30,000+ is very great. Let's say you're planning on doing 12 of these a year, right? As an editor. If you're going to spend $2,000 or $3,000 on one of these things, that is worth the investment. You can't even fathom how terrible it would be if one of your drives completely crapped on you.
It's the worst. It is the worst because I've had it happen.
With somebody else's $30,000, $60,000, $100,000 commercial project or feature film or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want to risk that.
Well, that drive, and I said it in the video, that drive no longer represents the cost of the drive. It now represents the cost of the entire job.
Right.
Because that's where the job lives.
That's where insurance gets a little weird because insurance, if you lose a hard drive in a fire, they'll go, okay, how much was the hard drive?
Yeah.
And you go, no.
That's not the concept.
The hard drive was $250,000. And they go, no. I buy it on B&H right now. It's like, so you have to, it's backups upon backups. Don't risk it. I just had a director tell me a story. He shot 2 feature films and he had them all these drives. He was young. He was like 21 years old. All these drives, and he was visiting his parents. So we were doing this film up along the coast. They were shooting a documentary film. And they left all these drives at his parents' house. And he went to go finish up the film in like Colorado or something. I can't remember where. And the day he left, that night, there was a house fire. The entire house burned down to the ground. The entire house. All the hard drives completely destroyed. And 2 films, and he ran into that problem with insurance because, he had investors that paid $50,000 for each one of these films. How do they get their money back? Is it his fault? Is it insurance? He's now 36. This was 15 years ago, but it took him that long to be able to talk about this story.
Oh, that's so just awful. The worst. I mean, it's like you create something and the thought of having to go back and do it again, which I've had to do too many times in my career, I just hate. So anyway, let's go on.
Yes.
Okay, combining time-lapse and video at sunset. Could you have done the same thing but with a green screen for the guitar player looking out and having the
time-lapse
play through the window? Yeah, you could have done it that way. Sure. No reason you couldn't. Yeah. Could have ran it through the window and played that time-lapse, have a green screen back there and play the time-lapse out the window. Sure.
Green screens are so useful.
They are.
And
I'm just too old school. I'm too old school, but they are easy.
We talked about it, like the days of bringing out a color meter are over, or a light meter, I mean. So you just set up a green screen, you throw a couple kinos on the side, and you are good. Even though that's reading 60% and that's reading 40%, doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can key that out so fast.
Yep.
And it's easy, man. So, all right, great. Facebook comment. We had a Facebook comment.
Very good.
KD said, do you have any concert and live performance shooting gear and settings, angles, and perspectives related tips and tricks? I have a fairly good idea, such as a 7200 f2.8, which will keep my ISO at a lower setting. Sure, it's fast aperture. And while keeping my shutter speed up. Do you have any concert and live performance shooting gear? Oh, sorry, it's the same question.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, yeah. Yeah, what do you think, JP?
My thought on these things is a couple of things. One is color balance is all over the place,
Mm.
you know, so I always have to mess around the color balance, try to look at what the lights are there, try to shoot some, just give me an idea, do I have to go to just auto white balance, or can I pick a tungsten setting, can I pick some mixed setting, you know, 400, and is that going to give me something that I'm going to like?
What is your thought on that? Because, so what is, at a nighttime setting, what is the human eye going to color balance to? Is it going to see more tungsten, middle, or daylight?
Well, when you say nighttime setting, we're talking about artificial lights. So
that's what I mean. So what are our eyes naturally going to see? Because obviously the lighting technician wants us to have an experience, right?
Yeah, they want to.
So when he puts blue gels on, you know, like what do we set the so if the camera's at 5600, that blue's not going to show up as blue as maybe we perceive it.
Well, but no, that's not. It should. If it's a tungsten light and he puts blue on it and you set to tungsten, that's going to be really blue.
Yeah, exactly. But if we go to daylight, it's not going to perceive as blue.
So in auto balance, it's going to be all over the place, you know. So I try to pick
start
something
at 4,000.
I think 4,000 is not a bad place to start.
Start at 4,000.
It's just it's a great place to start when you got mixed light going on and see what it looks like.
As far as a lens choice goes, you're going to want either a super wide or a super long lens. Depends on where you are. If you're right there on the stage and you're looking up at the artist, yeah, get something cool, 1635 or something like that.
They lean down into
they're in. Yeah, the light's hitting them. Yeah, that's gonna be super fun. And then the 7200 is great if you wanna maybe get back a little bit and get a performer doing his little
Although
thing.
if you're not really close, the 7200 is not that close.
Yeah,
like if you're back very far, that 7200 is gonna barely get them at full body height in the frame. So you're not gonna get into this kind of thing, you know, or waist up. So. Does the president call?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah? What does he want?
No, it's just the secretary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. Not a big deal. All right, so there's, we should do a lesson on shooting a concert. We should go out and shoot a concert and talk about shooting, and that'd be fun to do. So.
We should talk to my friend Kina.
Oh, yeah. Shoot one of her concerts.
Yeah, she's doing concerts all the time.
Let's do a video on a lesson at one of her concerts. Let's do video and stills.
She would be stoked on that.
I want to do it.
All right.
I'm in.
Great.
But I've heard this before. Like, we're going to shoot lights out in the forest with her.
Oh, right. Yeah. I still want to do that.
Sure.
It'd be a great music video.
It would be.
So fun, those vintage bulbs all up in a forest.
I have a whole box of them.
I know.
No. 3 boxes of them.
Amazon, right?
Yeah. No, I do have 3 boxes.
I know you do. Yeah.
So, anyway. So there you have it. Questions and answers from Photo Video Trends. So comments, questions, answers, all those kinds of things. So remember, support us on our affiliate programs through Amazon and through B&H. Anything you purchase on there will help kind of keep our show on the air.
Keeps the lights on, guys.
Yeah, keeps the lights going. Also, join our Facebook group, which is a fabulous group there that's becoming more and more active all the time. Want to get your stuff up there. We can get critiques and feedback. It's a great place to go. And what else we got going?
We have podcasts.
Yes, we do.
So I enjoy listening to shows like this in my car. So if you're one of those people, or if you'd like to be one of those people, then Photo Video Trends podcast, let's go ahead and subscribe. Leave us a review. I think the more reviews we get, the more people are exposed to it, right? So it's like in the educational or photo category. So if you guys write reviews, if you listen to it, then we get a larger exposure, which helps us for advertising purposes as well. It just keeps the lights on. We love doing the show. I have a lot of fun doing it, and we're not making any money on it, but we'd like to, so we can continue doing it.
We would sure like to.
So, if you guys are into it, want to help us out, we always appreciate it.
Very good. So keep those cameras rolling.
Keep on clicking.
The Slanted Lens business coaching class is back. For those of you who didn't join us last time, you missed out. Has your business grown like you want it to? We'll help it grow. Get involved with us. It's time to go. Go to theslantlens.com/business class and I'll help you grow your business.
Video
Trends.
July.